Good day. So here I'll be demonstrating the use of simple linked list. Okay, so this is recorded now, August 22, 2025. So here I first define a structure of a node, this one. So I call my struct as a node. And then it contains the following data. The data itself, which is an integer. Of course, in most cases, you can change that. Let's say, for example, you have a list containing name, course, year, salary, etc. Then, aside from the data, we always have to have the node, a pointer node that points to the next node. That's why we have struct node. We have a pointer called next using this data type struct node. So you notice it is a pointer. That's why you have asterisk the next. So again, this one is used to point to the next data. And then I'll be explaining this, insert at the beginning, insert at end, and traverse one by one. Okay? So first, let's take a look at insert at the beginning. So that will be insert at the beginning. So here, to insert at the beginning, we have to have the address of the head. Okay, it's a pointer, but we have to know the address of the pointer. That's why we have to double asterisk. And the value that we will be adding to the node or to the list. Okay, so what this program will do is first to create or allocate memory. So malloc means memory allocation. It will allocate a memory equivalent to the size of the node. So size of struct node. So what that will do is first allocate the space. So this is the space. That is malloc. And then you have to also specify, or you have to cast that the data type for this space will be equivalent to struct node or a struct node pointer. That's why this will be defined. So aside from being allocated, it will be defined that it contains what? First, the data and the yung next pointer. So the data and the next pointer. So assuming that the address of this is 100, for example. Of course, the memory address is a lot higher than 100, but let's assume that that's the address of the first of this new node. Okay, so this is our new node. This is our, we call this our new node. I'm going to use NN. NN for new node. T for temp. H for head. So I think these are the variables that we'll be using. So I'm going to use NN, that means it's the new node, T for the temp node, and H is for the head node, and maybe N. Sige. I think tama naman yan. Okay? So let's take a look again at the code. So what this line will do is to create a or allocate a space for the new node, then assign a data type for that, and that will be our new node. So that will be our new node. So this one, this is we allocated a space for that. Then after that, we have here if not new node, so this will just be our some sort of a control. If new node returns null or false, then that means we were not able to allocate memory for the new node. So when will that happen? For example, if memory is full or there's something maybe wrong with the memory. Okay? So this is just some sort of parang safety net. Okay? But if it is okay, that means we were able to create a new node. So the value here will be assigned to new node data. So this is our new node. Again, this one is our data, and this one is our next. Okay? So new node data will be equal to value. New node data will be equal to value, the value in our parameter. So in this example, it is 10. So we assign 10 to data. Okay, and then what's next? With the code. Yeah. Next is null. So this one is null. And then if head is equal to null, so in this example, we don't have a head yet, so head is equal to null. So head is equal now to what? The address of new node. You know, this new node is a pointer. So head now is equal to address of the new node. That means if head is null, the list is empty. So in our example, in our illustration, it is empty. So head is equal to new node. So this one is our new node. At the same time, it is also our head. Okay, so this is our new node, and this is also our head. Then, if not, struct node temp equals head. So we'll not be doing this. I'll explain that later. And then inserted D at the end. So this will just be printed. So in other words, we were now able to have our first node. So head is pointing to this, and this will be our data. This is the address. Okay, I'll be assigning it. That's the address. So this is our data now. So next, insert another. What is inside in our code? We again insert the. Are we using insert at the beginning? Yes, that's insert at the beginning. Mali na yung kwan. I was explaining. But anyway, ganun. It's still the same. We have the data and then head is equal to new node, insert at the beginning. I was explaining the wrong code. Pero the same up to this part. Head is new node because that's our first data. Then how do we insert at the end? Yeah, so let's take a look at insert at the end. So hopefully, yeah. First is, again, we allocate a new node. So we allocate a new node. Then allocate memory. Yan. Let's say the address is 150 or 120. So it's still a blank one. So this is our header. This is our new node. So we have created a new node. So that is from this code. Okay. If there's an error, print an error. If not, we assign value and null to next. So in our example, at the end, 20 and head. So this is 20 and null. Tingnan natin yung data. Yan. So it says here, yan, value to data, null to next for our new node. If head is equal to null, head is new node. But head here is not equal to null anymore. Head is pointing to this one. So if it is not null, what's next? Struct node temp is equal to head. So temp is equal to head. So you notice here, ito si head, temp is also equal to head. So they're now pointing to 100. Ayan. So temp and head are pointing to this pointer. New node is this one. Okay, and then next. Ayan. While temp next is not equal to null. So this is temp next, it's equal to null. Diba? So temp next is equal to null. So what will the program do? So since it is equal to null, it goes out of this loop. It will not enter this loop. It will proceed to this one. So it says here temp next is equal to new node. So temp next should be equal to new node, which is 120, the address. So this is 120. 120. Okay? And then inserted at the end. So the new node now is inserted. If we're going to look at our list, head is pointing here, and this node 120 is pointing to the next node, and this one is null. That means that's the end of our list. Let's try to insert another one. Yung kahit na yung wala dito. So we have 10, 20. Ito beginning ito eh. Let's try inserting 30 ito at the end. Yan natin. So what will the program do? It'll insert at the end. So first, saan yung insert at the end ito? Allocate a space, di ba? So, yan, it will allocate a space. Kunwari, address niya is 130. Then, anong next? I-test lang kung successful. If successful, the value assigned to data, si next equal to null. So, 30. Dun sa kung natin 30 ito, this will become null. Okay? And then, what's next now? Is head equal to null? No. That will only be true if our list is empty. So, we go to this one. Struct node temp equal kay head. So, ito si temp equal kay head. Okay? And then, in our code, while temp next is not equal to null. So, tingnan natin. Temp next is not equal to null. Okay? So, pag hindi equal to null, anong susunod? Temp is equal to temp next. So, temp is equal to temp next. Ito yung temp next, 120. So, si temp, lilipat dito. Magiging 120. Ito na si temp. Okay? And then, after that, pagbalik dito, temp next is not equal to null, actually false. Because temp next now is equal to null. So, if temp next is equal to null, it exits. Dito na yung next. Temp next is equal to new node. So, temp next is equal to the address of, ito na yung new node natin ha. Hindi ko na ilipat ito. Temp next now is equal to, ito yung temp next, diba? Ito yung next. Is equal to the address of new node, which is 130. So, nandito ngayon, 130. And then, yun na. Lilipat dito si, hindi na lilipat kasi null ito kanina. So that's the end of the code. Yan, temp next is equal to new node and then insert it at the end. So try natin yung insert at the beginning. Ito. Insert at the beginning. So paano yung code sa insert at the beginning? First, we create a node. So yung node na yan, hindi niya ilalagay dito. It will be placed here. Kunwari, ang address niya is 140. Siyempre, wala na ulit si temp. Si temp, kaya nga temporary lang. Si new node, wala ulit si new node din. Ito lang ang meron, header. Tingnan nyo, si header naka-point dito. Ito, next, pinopoint niya ito. Ito, pinopoint niya ito. So, yan yung list natin. From this, to this, to this. Then null, ibig sabihin, end ng list yan. So, in our code now, mag-add tayo ng we're going to add at the beginning yung 5. So, tingnan natin yung code. So, it says here, insert at the beginning, mag-create ng bagong node. So, if new node, kung may error, yan mo lang. Pero pag wala, si value, ayan, si value equal to data. Kaya ilagay mo ito dito. Value equals sa data. And then, tingnan nyo, may kakaiba siya ngayon. Ang next niya ay equal kay address ni head. Ang next niya ay equal sa address ni head. Ano bang address ni head? 100. So, ilalagay mo dito ngayon is 100. Okay? So, you notice yun ang kaiba sa beginning. Instead ng null, ang address nilalagay mo is yung address ni head, which is 100. So, nakalagay niya ngayon 100. And then, what's next? Ayan, head now is equal to new node. So si head ngayon, naka-point kung ano yung address ng new node natin. Ito yung new node natin. Ito yung bagong gawa, di ba? Ito. So head is now the address of the new node. So ito na ngayon si head at saka si new node. Wala na dito yung head. Then what's next? Wala na. Inserted at the beginning. Pag titinan nyo ngayon list, head, ito yung unang-unang data natin. Tapos ito, ituturo niya si 100 yon. Tapos ito, ituturo niya si 120. Si 120, ituturo niya si 130, and then null. So ito na ngayon ang nasa beginning. Okay? So it's now at the beginning. Yun. So that is how insert at the beginning. Paano naman yung traverse? Yung traverse, actually, kung tutusin halos itong part nito is the same as traverse. Yung part na yan. So tinan natin yung traverse. So if head equals null, ibig sabihin wala nga yung list, empty yung list. So print mo lang, the list is empty. Pag hindi, yan, node temp equals head. So pag hindi, ito si head, ito rin si temp. Yun ang unang gagawin. Ayan, temp equals head. And while temp is not equal to null, ibig sabihin may pinopoint siya na. So anong gagawin? I-print mo lang yung data. So anong data nito? I-print lang niya si 5. After that, after you print data, ano susunod? Temp is equal to temp next. So tingnan nyo lang. Temp, ito si temp next. So una si temp is 140. Ngayon temp next, ito 100. Kasi T magiging 100. So ito na ngayon ang susunod. Si T na ngayon, si temp, nandito na siya sa 100. Okay? Then, anong susunod? Oh, si temp ba null? Hindi pa. Print the data. So, anong susunod na data? 5, and then, susunod na print niya is 10. Yan. Susunod yung print niya. Dito na para limak siya. 5, and then, si 10. Yan. Then, what's next? Dun sa code natin. Na-print na niya. Temp equals temp next. So, temp equals temp next. So, ito si temp, ito yung address ni temp, pero gagawin mo siyang equal to temp next, which is 120. Kaya ito, hindi na siya 100. Equal na siya sa 120. So, naka-point pa rin siya. So, null na ba si temp? Hindi pa. So, print the data again. So, anong nalabas dito? We have 5, 10, and then we have 20. Okay, pinit niya. Then, anong susunod? So, temp equals temp next ulit. So, temp is equal to temp next. Ito si temp next. Kasi temp magiging equal to 130 dito. Okay? And then, ipiprint niya ulit sequence. So, tingnan natin. Ipiprint niya ulit ito. And then, temp equals temp next. So, ano na ngayon si temp? Si temp na ngayon is equal to null. Wala na. Pag null na, then it goes out of the loop. And then, print lang yung null. Ano yung traversing? Okay? So, yun yung traversing. That's why if we run the program, compile and run, yan. Insert at end, 10, 20, insert at the beginning, insert at end, kaya 5, 10, 20, 30, and then null. Okay? Yeah, so that's our simple demo of insert at the end, insert at the beginning, and traverse. Yan lang muna.